This video looks at the formal method for subtraction, including amounts of money, which means we're going to be including decimals within our calculation. Here we have our calculation written out horizontally. £132.50, take away £46.25. And here we have our calculation written out. We lay it out in much the same way that we would a normal subtraction calculation. We've got our columns labelled here, ones, tens, hundreds and thousands. But this time we've also got a decimal after the ones column. That's where the decimal always goes. And you'll see that I've already put the decimals in for the other positions because the decimals will not move. After the decimals, we've got two more place value columns, the tenths column here and the hundredths column here. This is how we write the tenths, and this is how we write the hundredths. The reason for that is that anything in this position is a fraction of a whole number. So these are for less than 1. There are 100 pennies in the pound, and if you tried to write 100 here, the 1 would go there and you'd have 2 zeros. First job is to write the numbers into the calculation. Now, as usual, we'd line up the ones column, 2 in the ones column, 6 in the ones column. So we've lined up the ones column, but we've also lined up our pennies. So we've got 50 and 25, so 50p and 25p. So we can now begin our calculation. And we'd usually start with the ones column, but because we've got a decimal, we need to start from as far over this way as possible. So we're going to start with the hundredths column. Looking at the hundredths column, 0, take away 5, we can't do, so we're going to have to exchange. We need to make the impossible possible. And just like any exchange, we cross out this 5, leaving only 4, and we take 1 across and put it here, so we end up with 10. It's 10 hundredths. And we do 10 hundredths, take away 5 hundredths, and then the 4 tenths, take away 2 tenths, and that leaves us with 0.25, 25 pence. Then we move on, we ignore this column, which is just going to have the decimals in, and we look straight at the ones column, and again, we're going to have to exchange. We've got 12 now, take away 6, which leaves 6. And now in the tens column, we've got 2 tens, take away 4 tens. Again, not possible, we're going to have to exchange. As you can see here, I've crossed out my 1, leaving nothing. Very important to remember to do that so we don't get confused. And we've carried that 1 over here, leaving us now 12 in the tens column. So 12 tenths, take away 4 tens. And there we have our answer, 86.25. Now, remember, we're looking at amounts of money, so we must also include the pound sign. And there we have it. That's how we use the formal method for subtraction, how we lay it out correctly to work with money, so we've got decimals in there as well. Always line up the decimals.